So from the Post Millennial, Joe Biden denies proclaiming Easter Sunday Trans Visibility Day. I didn't do that. And then I love this. He did. Quick, for those that don't know, it was, I believe, on Saturday. Or no. I believe it was Friday. They announced that March 31st would be Transgender Day of Visibility. We actually have the proclamation here, March 29th. A proclamation on Transgender Day of Visibility, which they said would fall on March 31st, which is Easter. So, of course, you guys remember when they who was it who called Christians Easter worshipers? Do you remember that one?
No, that's a good one.
It was like a big scandal too. But so this obviously offended a lot of people.
Kamala.
Saying, on Fox News, they had a guest on today who said, not only is Easter potentially the most important day, if not the most important day for Christians, as a Christian, it's the most important day for humanity. And so for Joe Biden to basically say we're doing this transgender thing on Easter was shockingly offensive to people.
But was it on Easter or was it on March 31st that he didn't put two and two together?
Well, no, here's the big revelation, I suppose. While being asked, so he was asked about Speaker Johnson saying, via the pool, Speaker Johnson called it outrageous that Easter Sunday was Transgender Day of Visibility. What do you say to Speaker Johnson? Biden responded, he's thoroughly uninformed. Question, uninformed how? Biden, I didn't do that. He did do it. I think the revelation here that everyone's been waiting for, hard evidence dropped right in your lap. These statements being put out by Joe Biden are not from Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't sign off on them. Joe Biden has no idea what's being said in his name. And I guess you can say there's more than one president.
Yeah, but does anyone surprised by this?
No.
Even Democrats?
No.
But it's basically the hard. It's no longer circumstantial evidence.
But hold on, is he okay? I just want to make sure. I want to steelman this as much as I can, as someone who gave money to Biden in the primaries and which has paid off in dividends. I mean,
thank you for hurting me so much.
The lulls alone.
Your student loans.
Point being, the student loans. Yeah, my student loans got paid off when I went to school in the 40s. Is he saying I didn't do that? I didn't put it on Easter, meaning I just put on March 31st. What was it last year?
Right. I think he's been this
I'll look it
day for the past few years.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Wasn't it?
No.
Wasn't it?
That's what I want to find out.
2 years?
No, it's different every year.
It was on April 9th last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
that was
outrageous.
the argument everyone
that
was
is
making.
complete crazy.
It is.
That was the argument everyone was making against him yesterday.
I'm glad we settled that because that's crazy.
Either he's lying and he did know, or he didn't know, and someone was like, okay, America, Christian, what's their most celebrated holiday? Let's introduce a holiday on their holiday to disrupt this.
That's awful.
No. Here's the crazy thing is that London declared the day as well. London put up the new flag, which has 2 triangles. Oh, wow. And they said celebrating.
No, you're joking.
I'm not kidding. No. And they said celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility. And
Can
I was like,
see the new flag, please?
Let me pull it. I got to search for it.
Plus, they made Trans Day on Easter a few days before the eclipse, a few days before CERN's going on.
Is it Trans Day or Trans Day Visibility? Because it's probably also Trans Day.
Oh, for sure.
There's probably 2.
Is there a trans month?
And isn't the whole point of being trans is that you're not visible and that you're passing?
Oh, but
Yes.
yeah, Biden doesn't get it yet. He's just not there.
Yeah, he's still learning. Maybe he'll get it.
Yeah, he needs
Here we go. When he grows up.
Mayor of London said on Trans Day of Visibility, we celebrate London's trans community as they strive to live authentically and safely. And they have this flag where it's got 2 triangles now. Now, I do think it's important to point out, the mayor of London had tweeted the past several years the same day. So I believe this day had been esoterically the Trans Day of Visibility for for the everyday person. They have no idea what it is. And so the White House decided to get on board with it or something like that.
It was March 31st last year. So it was 2 years in a row.
What I'm really curious about is...
What's the second triangle?
I have no idea. But my question is there any group of people that has more holidays, months, etc. that like
Christians?
Christians have their own holidays. Jews have their own holidays. Muslims have their own holidays.
Any non-religion?
Indian people have their own holidays. I'm saying this is a quote unquote marginalized group that has more celebrations and days than most other groups.
Because it's a fad.
It's a cult.
It's like the AIDS ribbon. Everything had to be AIDS, and then I just forgot about it.
Yeah, but this keeps evolving into something much more nefarious.
Give it. You know what? Here's the thing. Let me just take a second because I think conservatives, which I'm not one, but conservatives don't know how to take a win. People should think back about 2016, where every 5 minutes it was refugees welcome when we need mass Muslim migration to the West, and Linda Sarsour was everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, bitch, can I say that word?
Yeah, I guess
we try not to because there's kids watching.
Okay, but now that broad is on the side of a milk cart. Now that broad's on the side of a milk cart, and you can't find her anywhere because they just shut up about it.
Well.
Hold on, let me just finish my thought. I think as soon as this becomes politically radioactive, which is increasingly becoming, they're just going to stop talking about it.
I agree, but I think the Sarsour thing was that there were a bunch of articles written by prominent newspapers about how she was claiming this crazy stuff about Jews. And then Democrats were just like, she's cut off.
But that didn't work for Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, because they're funded through grassroots by like Ilhan Omar is funded mostly from the fringes of the internet. Rashida Tlaib, similarly, they have their pockets of support. AOC, all the squad members, majority of their contributions come from outside their districts, from small donors all across the country. For Linda Sarsour, she's an activist who has to be hired. She when she does an event, she has to go to someone and say, "Would you donate to us?" A bunch of articles come out with her, the Women's March, accusing them of being anti-Semites and believing crazy conspiracy theories, and then she starts to slowly disappear from the limelight.
Broadly speaking, though, those refugee welcome signs vanished. They stopped talking about it completely.
Do you think this will be harder for people to divorce from because so many people have their children rolled up into this cult?
There's some feminist scholar, I forget her name, and I apologize. She just did this whole, they went viral on the internet, where she's like, this is going to be really hard because for someone to accept that they did this to their kid is a big pill to swallow. So you have to, as a mom, keep doubling down.
Right.
And she's correct. And that is what makes this terrifying.
I agree with that. It's going to be tough for people to let go of it because
you can't.
Given your kids puberty blockers,
you can't.
Who knows what.
Oh, that drives me so crazy when they're like, oh, you can just pause puberty. It's like, yeah, because if someone's malnourished and you give them food, they get their natural height, obviously.
It's fine. We've never done it before, but we know it's fine.
That was all sarcasm in case anyone listening didn't know. If you starve someone of nutrition in their early years, they do not grow to their big height.
You're
in
kidding.
Their later years. No, it turns out, if you stunt someone's growth, it doesn't like magically return.
I'm proof of this.
Well, let's shift to the other element of the story. Joe Biden is clearly not in charge. I mean, most people have speculated to this. I think what we're seeing is Joe Biden is in charge only so far. And I think you take a look at Afghanistan as an example of this. When you have leadership like Joe Biden, you get the Afghanistan debacle. Clearly, there's no strategy as to how we're exiting, no plan to how we leave the Air Force Base, the Bagram Air Force Base. Everything falls apart because Biden wanted to do it. He wanted to move the deadline to September 11th. It was the 11th, right? And it all falls apart. But then at the same time, you look at the statements that are being released for political reasons, and it has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Someone else decided to put out the statement without him knowing. Or there's another possibility. He completely forgot he did.
That's logical.
But I think he's always been, and even his campaign, he's a party hack. It's like when Super Tuesday in 2020, Bernie Sanders was leading in I think literally every state except for Minnesota, which is Klobuchar, and Buttigieg and Klobuchar got the phone call from someone, and that Monday they're like, oh, we're endorsing Joe Biden, and Joe Biden got the nomination. He's just clearly a function of the Democratic Party. I don't think there's any secret about this.
He's a vessel.
So, a vessel.
He's a career plagiarist too, and now they're plagiarizing him to a degree because there's people with their hands inside of him.
Wow.
And then so he doesn't know.
Do you
that
want
he's
him to
being
be more of a
plagiarized.
leader? I'd rather have the institution running itself than have this senile corpse.
I'd
rather have Biden in charge.
I don't know.
I think
Who's Biden though? Like who was ever Biden? Who was he ever?
Biden in charge is a guy falling up the stairs over and over again.
They let me plug in the lamp,
The institution is like warrantless wiretapping and hunting down J6ers.
Correct. No, that's fair. Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
But no, I think Biden wants to hunt down those J6ers. The way he talks about them, he believes it.
I agree.
He believes it.
With the same type of fervor he had the crime bill in 92.
Yes.
Like he did have power at some point and liked to
Great
wield
point,
it.
Shane.
Did you see the protester at his speech last week?
No.
She was yelling something about healthcare, and then he just goes, everybody needs healthcare. And it was like,
wow.
You looked into his face when he was talking, and there's nothing there.
Okay, I want to just get back to what the second triangle is on that flag. Here's the thing.
It's a mirror.
I step back a little.
It's a mirror?
That's what I got out of it.
No, did you look it up? Come on.
No, I like that interpretation.
I step back a little because I feel like politics is getting stupider and stupider, and it's just getting exhausting to me. And I know it's not just because I'm an ancient boomer, but at this point, it's just like really.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.